In this video, I'm going to talk about what is the mark of the beast. Now, what prompted this video? Now, I did a video similar to this one several months back. This is more of an enhancement to that video and to add more perspective. But what is the mark of the beast? Now, I watched a video from a very well-known YouTube content creator. He's a Christian. And this was the title of his video, What is the Mark of the Beast? And when he began his presentation, one of the first things that I noticed was he said that the Bible tells us this. The Bible tells us this about the beast. The Bible doesn't tell us this about the image of the beast and all that, right? And immediately what kicked in was, no, the Bible doesn't say that. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if one reads from Revelation chapter 1, verse 1, we read that it is a revelation from Jesus Christ that God gave him. So it is not the Bible who says those things. It is Jesus who says those things via the revelation that his Father gave him. So it is very important that one reads the fine print and don't get lured into and duped into believing that the Bible is telling us things. It is not the Bible through which we should be taking our direction from. It should be through Christ Jesus. He is the way, the truth, and the life, not some book that men named the Bible. We must identify what the beast is before we can know what its mark is. And we must also identify the time period when the beast appears. Now, first of all, let's talk about when the beast appears. I'm going to throw at you two scriptures. One of them I just quoted from Revelation chapter 1, verse 1, where we read that this is a revelation from Jesus Christ that God gave him to show his servants what must shortly or soon take place. That's very important to understand, that it is a revelation from Jesus Christ that God gave him to show his servants what must soon or shortly take place. Now, one must ask the question, shortly take place after what? This is something that Christianity and Christians do not address. They don't answer that question. When does the beast appear? If one goes to Revelation chapter 20, verse 7 and 8, we read this. When the 1,000 years are over, Satan will be released from his prison and will go out to deceive the nations in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, and to gather them for battle. And number, they're like the sand on the seashore. So when the 1,000 years are over, what is this 1,000 years being over? This is Christ's yet future 1,000-year kingdom that will reside over the earth. This is still yet to come. But when that kingdom of 1,000 years ends, that's its age, 1,000 years, when it ends, then Satan is released from his prison, then he goes out to deceive the nations in the four corners of the earth. Remember that key word, deceive, because we're going to tie something else into that. Deceive. So the contents of the book of Revelation, all of it, none of it has had fulfillment yet. Its fulfillment begins when the 1,000 years are over. And if we go back to Revelation chapter 1, verse 1, that's what that soon take place or surely take place has meaning. To show his servants what must soon or shortly take place after his 1,000-year kingdom ends. That's when things get interesting. When Christ's 1,000-year kingdom ends, that is when the entire contents of the book of Revelation will have a start of fulfillment. And the beast appears when Christ's yet future 1,000-year kingdom ends and Satan is released from his prison, because that's when he raises up that beast. There are those who try to make that glove fit this time period. It doesn't fit. The contents of the book of Revelation is for a future time period, not now. Now, before we can identify what the mark of the beast is, we must identify what the beast is. Now, in this video, this individual did not identify the three beasts mentioned in the book of Revelation. Yes, there are three beasts mentioned in the book of Revelation. At Revelation chapter 13, verse 1, we read about a beast that comes out of the sea. It has 10 horns, 7 heads, 10 crowns on its horns, and each head had a blasphemous name. That is, it had a blasphemous reputation. It resembled a leopard. It had feet like those of a bear, and a mouth like that of a lion. And the dragon gave this beast its power and its throne, keyword throne, and great authority. So this beast will be raised up by the dragon in the future, and the dragon fuels it with its power, its throne, and great authority. The second beast mentioned in the book of Revelation is found at Revelation chapter 13, verse 11. Now, this beast comes up out of the earth. It had 2 horns like a lamb, but spoke like a dragon. It performed great wonders on behalf of the first beast that came out of the sea in front of the people, and it deceived the inhabitants of the earth. Now, this beast that comes out of the earth will be acting on behalf of the first beast that comes out of the sea. This beast that comes out of the earth, it will deceive the inhabitants of the earth. So there's our second beast. We're getting very close to identifying what the beast is. The third beast is mentioned at Revelation chapter 17, verse 3. Now, this third beast resembles the first beast. In fact, this third beast is that first beast, but we're seeing it in a different time period in its existence. Now, check this out. At Revelation chapter 17, verse 3, we read that this scarlet-colored beast has 7 heads. That beast that came out of the sea had 7 heads. It has 10 horns. The beast that comes out of the sea had 10 horns. However, this scarlet beast at Revelation chapter 17 does not have any crowns on its heads or on its horns. Instead, something else controls it. A woman sits on top of it, and this woman has a name, Babylon the Great. Now that you're aware that there are 3 beasts that are mentioned in the book of Revelation, the beast that comes out of the sea, the beast that comes out of the earth, and the scarlet-colored beast. The scarlet-colored beast and the beast that comes out of the sea, they're one and the same. It's just the scarlet-colored beast has changed its colors, and it has lost its power. It's no longer controlled by kingdoms. See, the crowns on the horns of the beast in Revelation chapter 13, verse 1, represent that beast is being controlled by kingdoms. However, the scarlet-colored beast doesn't have any crowns on its horns or on its heads. It is controlled by a woman. The scarlet beast that we see in Revelation chapter 17, verse 3 is dying. It's on its last leg. It is sickly. It is desperate. Now, what is the beast? This individual in the video that I watched this morning said that the Bible doesn't tell us what the beast is. It doesn't tell us what the mark of the beast is. It doesn't tell us what the image of the beast is. I beg to differ. The revelation that God gave his son, and Jesus passed it on to his angel, and the angel to the apostle John, tells us exactly what the beast is. Write this down. At Revelation chapter 16, verse 10, we're told what the beast is. We're told that the beast is a throne and a kingdom. Remember, we read from Revelation chapter 13, verse 2, that the dragon gave this beast its power, its throne, and its great authority. Well, here at Revelation chapter 16, verse 10, we're told that this beast will be a throne and a kingdom. Now that we know that the beast will be a throne and a kingdom, we can now talk about what the mark of this beast will be in future days. In order to understand that, we have to go back and look at Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom. If one goes to Daniel chapter 3, we where Nebuchadnezzar erected a golden image. that golden image represented or reflected Nebuchadnezzar and his kingdom. The mark of that golden image was an act. The act of bowing down to it. That's visible. You can see a person bowing down before that golden image. Anyone who bowed down before that golden image were showing their support, their allegiance, their worship of Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom. The act of bowing down marked or identified those individuals. Now, what was the penalty for not bowing down before Nebuchadnezzar's golden image? Well, back then, it would have been death. And we know that because 3 Hebrew boys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, did not bow down before Nebuchadnezzar's golden image. And Nebuchadnezzar had them thrown into a fiery furnace. And God sent his angels to protect those 3 Hebrew boys from being burned up in that literal furnace. And that frightened, that scared Nebuchadnezzar. So the mark of the beast that is to come will be something that reflects or represents the kingdom of the beast. It will be something that the people will visibly show allegiance to, support to, worship of. Today, for example, let's just pick the United States of America. Have you ever gone to a, say, sporting event, and before that sporting event, the national anthem is played? And what do Americans do? They stand up, place their hands over their heart. If they are in the military or in the police force, they render a salute, right hand to forehead. What does that visible act show? It shows their allegiance to a flag, which is a representation of the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. The act of placing one's right hand over their heart or rendering a salute, that's the mark. And if one does not do that, that identifies those individuals as not being marked. Now, let's go back and talk about this beast that comes out of the earth, mentioned at Revelation chapter 13, verse 11. Now, I mentioned that at Revelation chapter 20, verse 7 and 8, that when the 1,000 years are over, Satan's released from his prison, and he goes out to deceive all of the inhabitants of the earth. Deceive all of the inhabitants of the earth, Gog and Magog. Notice what this beast that comes out of the earth will do. And this also helps us to appreciate when this has fulfillment. Now, we're told about this beast that comes out of the earth at Revelation chapter 13, verse 11, this. Because of the signs, it was given power to perform on behalf of the first beast that came out of the sea. It, that's the second beast that comes out of the earth, it deceived the inhabitants of the earth. Let's stop there. We read at Revelation chapter 20, verse 7 and 8, when the 1,000 years are over, Satan's released from his prison, and he goes out to all of the inhabitants of the earth, Gog and Magog, to deceive them. Here we see the beast that comes out of the earth at Revelation chapter 13, verse 11, that it deceived the inhabitants of the earth. Did you make that connection? This helps us to appreciate that the arrival of these beasts occur when the 1,000 years are over, not now. Let's continue with Revelation chapter 13, verse 11, about this beast that comes out of the earth. It, that is this beast that comes out of the earth, ordered them, that's the inhabitants of the earth, to set up an image in honor of the beast, that is the beast that comes out of the sea, who was wounded by the sword and yet lived. And keep in mind that the beast that comes out of the sea has 7 heads and 10 horns. So it's going to have 7 heads, yet 10 kingdoms at different time periods of its tenure controlling it. So it ordered them to set up an image in honor of the beast who was wounded by the sword and yet lived. The second beast that comes out of the earth was given power to give breath, that is life, to the image of the first beast. The image of the first beast. So it'll be the second beast that comes out of the earth that will gin up support from all of the inhabitants of the earth, that they worship and give support to this image of the beast. Now, I have not yet told you what the image of the beast will be. You know what the mark will be. Now, what is this image? It will be the second beast that comes out of the earth that will give life, breathe life to this image of the beast, so that the image could speak and cause all who refuse to worship it to be killed. Just like back in Nebuchadnezzar's day. The penalty for not bowing down to his golden image was death. The image of the beast that is yet to come will be something much more complicated than the erection or construction of some physical image like we read about there in Daniel chapter 3. This second beast also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads. This mark, I've already told you what that's going to be. It's going to be some act that is going to show where one's allegiance, support, and worship of the beast is. So if one supports, worships, shows allegiance to, signs off on the image of the beast, that marks them as being supporters and worshipers of the beast itself, of that throne and kingdom. And in this passage, it talks about how this mark is going to be on their right hands or on their foreheads. That's allegorical. There will be no visible mark, no 666, no computer chip. This simply shows that when one gives their support and worship and allegiance to the image of the beast, that it marks them, whether it's them signing a piece of paper, receiving some type of identification card saying that they are a citizen of this throne and kingdom, something they might say shows their support. There will be no visible mark on one's right hand or forehead. Satan's too clever. He's too subtle for that. That's like advertising what's going to happen. It's not going to happen like that. At verse 17, we read, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. So if one does not show allegiance to and worship that image, not only will they be killed, they will not be able to buy or sell. Their life will be made a pure hell. The majority of the inhabitant earth in those future days will worship the image of that beast, because when Satan's released from his prison, he goes out to all of the inhabitants of earth to deceive them, and the deception will come through this beast that comes out of the earth, because it does the deceiving. It acts on behalf of the beast. It is the beast's mouthpiece. That's why we're told that it looks like a lamb, but it speaks like a dragon. It speaks blasphemy. It speaks lyingly. It is a deceiver. And back in Nebuchadnezzar's day, only 3 Hebrew boys among Nebuchadnezzar's vast kingdom did not bow down before that beast. To continue, let the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. That number is 666. Now, there are many within Christianity who says this is the Antichrist. Listen, first of all, Antichrist is not mentioned in Revelation. And to say that when it says here that it is a number of a man, that's really stretching to say that this represents Antichrist. Antichrist is mentioned only 4 times in Scripture, and among 1 John and 2 John, 4 times. And we're told that 1 John chapter 2, verse 18, that there are many Antichrists, and they existed back in John's day. So this is not talking about some all-powerful man as being the beast, and that Antichrist number is 666. That's not what this is talking about. Don't let Christianity pull a fast one over you, because it will. Christianity is incapable of speaking the truth. But we're told here that let the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and that number is 666. The insight that we receive cannot be our own. The insight must come from God. We can't figure this out on our own. So what will this image of the beast be in future days? It will be a constitution or a law covenant made between the throne and kingdom of the beast and the subjects of that kingdom. If they support it, if they worship that kingdom and throne through that image, then they will prosper. If they do not give their support and allegiance to this image or sign off on it, they will not prosper. They face the prospect of not being able to buy or sell and death. This constitution and law covenant between the inhabitants of the kingdom of the beast and the beast itself and the one who fuels it, the dragon, will contain 666 laws. Many are not aware that the law covenant that was made between God and ancient Israel contained more than 600 laws, rules, and regulations, including the 10 Commandments. A covenant is an agreement. If you abide by that agreement, you live. If you do not abide by that agreement, you face penalty, punishment, or death. You live by the law, you die by it. In future days, something very similar will be set up, but on a worldwide basis, because in those future days, all the governments that we see today will have long been destroyed and gone. There will be no human governments when the 1,000 years are over. Satan sets up his kingdom and his throne, the beast. And this beast that comes out of the earth, these are a conglomeration of men. Through them, he will set up an image of the beast, this constitution or law covenant. And this beast that comes out of the earth will convince the people to sign off on it, to obey by the rules and regulations of this law covenant, this constitution. And if they don't support it, they don't worship it, they don't sign off on it, they will be killed, thrown to prison, persecuted. They won't be able to buy or sell. None of these beasts have arrived yet. They don't arrive until the 1,000 years are over. Be careful when you hear individuals talk about these things, and they talk about them as if they're happening right now. It's not possible. I encourage you, play this video back as many times as you need to. Take notes, write down these scriptures. Understand that the beast will be a kingdom and a throne, and that there are 3 beasts mentioned in Revelation. The beast that comes out of the sea, that's a literal kingdom and throne that Satan gives his power, his throne, and great authority to. The beast that comes out of the earth will be a conglomeration of men. They make up what's called a false prophet. They will be the mouthpiece that acts and speaks on behalf of the first beast that comes out of the sea. It will be the one that will deceive the masses in future days, getting them to sign off on this law covenant, this constitution, that is the image of the beast. And if they don't, they will be killed, persecuted, will not be able to buy or sell. And the scarlet colored beast seen at Revelation chapter 17 is the very same beast that we see coming out of the sea at Revelation chapter 13. We're seeing it on its last leg. It's dying. It doesn't have any crowns on its horns. A woman rides on top of it. That this woman rides on top of it means she controls it. This woman has a name, Babylon the Great. She hasn't arrived yet either. I did a video about her. Check it out. It's in the playlist. So be careful with these fast-talking Christians who, in my view, don't get it. They're simply trying to stand up these old narratives about the contents of the book of Revelation occurring now. Nothing in the book of Revelation has had a start of fulfillment. It's up to you to put those pieces together. If you feel you need help, go to the Father in prayer and ask him to help you. Do not trust men. Don't trust me. Trust God through his Son, Christ Jesus. This is R. Jerome Harris, the disciple. Thank you for listening.